Hello, and welcome back. So, not playing games today. How about that? Instead, gonna be opening some Magic the Gathering card packs from the Final Fantasy set. Got a booster box here. Gonna go through, see what we pull, and take a look at all the wonderful art, I'm sure. So, look at that. It's a rare view of just me, no gameplay. Just me and this box of Magic Final Fantasy cards. Got its own little display. So I guess go ahead and start out. Gonna open it up. ASMR for you. Alright, so let's see. Oh, look at that. We got Blitzball Shot here, an instant. Green instant. Says target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Everyone seems to be calling for Waka, folks, says Blitzball announcer. Everyone seems to be calling for Waka, folks. With, of course, obviously Waka on the art. Take this! Oh, combat tutorial here. Just keeping with that, what is it? Final Fantasy 10? Is it? Or is it 10? I don't know. I haven't played it. Hold on. Let me. Now I've gotta. I'm pretty sure it's 10. Yeah, it's 10. We're still sticking with 10 here. Titus and Waka. Oh, and looks like Lulu's in there as well in the back. Here. But target player draws 2 cards, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Clueless, aren't you? Good thing I'm here, says Lulu. Then we have Paladin's Arms. Equipment. Oh, here, let me. Whoa, hey, camera. Hey, yeah, look. Oh, come on. You can do it. Come on. Focus. There you go, kind of. Yeah. Alright, so Paladin's Arms. Job select. When this equipment enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, has Ward 1, and is a knight in addition to its other types. And it says Lightbringer and Hero's Shield. Equip 4. That is interesting. An equipment that also creates its own creature to attach to. And that's it, yeah, +2/+1. Then we have a Sabotender. Uh-oh. Watch out. Here. got reach and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's a 2/1 Sabotender creature. Undercity Dire Rat here. It's got Rat Tail. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. Oh yeah, I forgot to... Sabotender also says, these strange ambulatory cacti are commonly found in the Altepa Desert of the Kuzats region, and little regarding their way of life is known to science. Undercity Diarrhea says, I finally worked out how to get the door on the left side open. I hope there's something in there besides rats, says Kytes, Kytes, a street urchin. And we have a world map. You pay 1, tap, sacrifice this artifact, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Pay 3, tap, sacrifice this artifact, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So, I see. So you pay 1 to get a basic land, or you could pay 3 for any land. Doesn't matter what kind of land. Ooh, a Sahagin Merfolk Warrior. As my camera tries to focus. There. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, come on. If at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and it can't be blocked this turn. And it says, silence, Shorewalker. Try to escape and I'll slice gills into your neck. And then, ooh. We've got a full art card here. Vayne Karuda's Solidor. Finn the Fangbearer. Legendary creature, human warrior with Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. 1, 3. Yeah, it's a full art. Nice. Ambrosia Whiteheart. Legendary creature bird with flash. When Ambrosia Whiteheart enters, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. And it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, Ambrosia Whiteheart gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Ambrosia. From 16. Then we have Lionheart. Equipment. Leon there. When this equipment enters, it deals 2 damage to any target. The equipped creature gets +2/+1. Equip cost of 2. Lions are known for their great strength and pride. Yeah, and neither Vayne nor Ambrosia had any like art text or whatever you call that. Extra text at the bottom. Then we have Snow Villers. Snow Villers. Legendary creature. Human rebel monk. Vigilance. Villiers. Power is equal to the number of creatures you control. And it says, all I can do is go forward. Keep fighting and surviving until I find the answers I need. And we have, oh boy, Genova. Ancient Chemistry. Or Ancient Calamity, sorry. Calamity. Legendary creature alien. Of course. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Genova's power on up to one other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. Now, it's only got a power of 1, but obviously you can increase that. At the beginning of combat, you put a number of plus and plus ones equal to Genova's power onto one other target creature. Other, specifically. So you cannot buff itself with that in order to get more +1/+1 counters. Still. Now we've got something shiny. X-Death. Void Warlock, and it's all holographic. Woo. When X-Death enters, you gain 3 life. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform X-Death. Oh boy. And the bottom text here. Witness what befalls those who stand against me. He's normally a 3/3, but then he becomes... also holographic. So I can't read it in the camera, but very fancy and shiny, and it says Neo X-Death Dimensions End. Trample. Neo X-Death's power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. And then it says all memories, dimensions, existence, all that is shall be returned to nothing. Of course, his toughness remains 3. And then we've got a Wastes. It's a basic land that provides a colorless. And then, oh, we got this, it's like this art series card, which looks nice. I don't quite know who it's depicting. Oh, Hydaelyn, the Mother Crystal, by Kei Satsuki. 34/53. Hydaelyn. I'm just not. Maybe that's the depiction of Hydaelyn that you fight, and it's been a while, so I forgot. I still envision Hydaelyn as her, whatchamacallit, her Asian form, I guess. The form of her in the olden days, before she was Hydaelyn. But, next pack. More ASMR for you. Oh, there's a little bit of a preview of something coming up. Alright, so we've got Sage's Nowliths here. Cool. Got Sage's arms for 5/14. Actually, maybe Sage is in other things, but that's what I know it from. Artifact equipment. Job select. When this equipment enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Has, whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature, and is a cleric in addition to its other types. Equip cost of 3 if you wanted to move it to something else, but interesting. So the equipped creature gets 1 extra power, and it can untap your other attacking creatures, essentially giving them a pseudo-vigilance. Then we have a weapons vendor. Human Artificer. When this creature enters, draw a card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an equipment, you may pay 1. When you do, attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. And it's just... Oh, yeah. Does this one have any... Oh, nope, no bottom text on that one, but there is on this one. Man in your line of work needs weapons, no? Why not try that one on for size? Okay. I was looking at the little, set symbol. Ooh. And all it says is FF and then a little crystal. So it's the Final Fantasy set. I had thought for a second, oh, but, aha. So it does tell you which game they are from in here. If, I don't know if you can read it with my camera, but down there, so for the Sage's Noliths, of course, it says FF14. Weapons vendor says FF7. Roman numerals, of course. Oh boy, here we have haste magic. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. Then it says double time. And obviously that's Cloud, so it's Final Fantasy VII. Hectize here. When this creature enters, each opponent discards a card. Once the monsters of hell poured forth into the world, they entered using a path known as the Fade Passage. Hilda, Princess of Finn. Oh, and this is from Final Fantasy II, it says. Now we get Town Greeter. Human Citizen. When this creature enters, mill 4 cards. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. If you put a town card into your hand this way, you gain 2 life. To mill 4 cards, a player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. Yes, of course. And it says, this is Cornelia, the City of Dreams. FF1. Iron Giant. He looks a little different than from the movie, I gotta say. Not very Superman in this depiction. It's got Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. It's a 6/6 artifact creature demon for 7. This Iron Giant is both hostile and powerful, using a giant blade to fell its foes. The mere mention of its name strikes fear in the hearts of drivers who know how perilous the roads are at night. Final Fantasy 15. And we've got Vincent's Limit Break. An instant. And of course, that's going to be Final Fantasy 7. And it says, tiered. Choose 1 additional cost. So, until end of turn, target creature you control gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and has the chosen base power and toughness. So they've got Galleon Beast for 0, 3/2, Death Gigas for 1, 5/2, and Hellmasker for 3, 7/2. And I assume that these 3 here. I assume that these 3 depictions here are those 3 creatures that it mentions. The Galleon Beast, Death Gigas, Hellmasker, all that. I can only assume. Next up, ride the Shupuf. What is this? Yeah, Ride the Shoopuff. This is from Final Fantasy X as well. It's got Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And it's an enchantment, and if you pay 5 and 2 green, this enchantment becomes a 7/7 beast creature in addition to its other types. And it says, Ride the Shoopuff? All aboard! And we've got Adalbert Steiner. Yes. Legendary creature, Human Naito. With lifelink. Adalbert Steiner gets +1/+1 for each equipment you control. And it says, Chivalry requires a knight to look after his comrades in arms. I will not abandon you. Cargo ship. Oh yeah, also Steiner, Final Fantasy IX. Cargo ship. It is a vehicle. Flying vigilance. Tap to add 1 mana. Spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact source. It's got crew 1. It's a 2/3. Next. Side quest, catch a fish. Oh wait, cargo ship, Final Fantasy IX as well. And then catch a fish, of course, that's Final Fantasy 15 there. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's an artifact or creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, create a food token and transform this enchantment. Transform it into cooking campsite. You can tap it to add a white mana, pay 3 and tap it to sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, activate only as a sorcery. And the catch a fish says, I am Noctis, Prince of Lucis, and King of Fishing. And then the cooking campsite side says, seeing how you enjoy fishing, you should learn how to prepare your catch. Ignis Scientia. So we have here Jidur Aristocratic Capital. Okay. It's a town land from Final Fantasy VI. So it's got Overture, pay 4 and 2 blue for a sorcery adventure. Target opponent mills half their library rounded down. Then exile this card. You may play the land later from exile, though. I wonder if it means you may just play it from exile later, or if it means, like, if some other card allows you to play from exile, then you could play it from exile. I don't know. No, I feel like that would just be the other card saying you can play cards from your exile. So maybe you can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna cast it as this Overture, and then next turn, pull it from exile and play it as my land per turn. But this land enters tapped, and other than that, you tap it for 1 blue, of course. And then we've got Albed Salvagers coming up here. Shiny, holographic. Ooh. Human Artificer Warrior from Final Fantasy X. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We found the airship. The records were right. And then we have, oh, it's a mountain. Shit, it's a mountain. And this one's from Final Fantasy IV. This particular mountain. And then we have a bird creature token. It's a chocobo. Whenever a land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it's a 2/2 bird. Oh, it's a double. Okay, so the thing we saw, it's a double token. The backside is a wizard, which is clearly a black mage. So the chocobo is apparently from Final Fantasy II, specifically a Final Fantasy II chocobo, but the wizard is a Final Fantasy XIV black mage. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. And it's a 0/1. Cool. So that's 2 packs down. Let's go for pack number 3 here. Scorpion Sentinel. Here. As long as you control 7 or more lands, this creature gets +3/+0. It's of course from Final Fantasy VII. It's a 1/4 artifact creature. And it says, Barret, be careful. Attack while its tail's up. It's gonna counterattack with its laser, says Cloud Strife. And we have Call the Mountain Chocobo. Specifically calling the Mountain Chocobo. Final Fantasy VII. Search your library for a mountain card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever a land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And it's got a flashback of paying 5 and 1 red. So you can cast the card from your graveyard. Cool. So you can cast it, it's a sorcery, you can cast it and get a mountain into your hand and a 2/2 bird creature token that we just got from the previous pack. And then you can cast it again and get another mountain, get another bird. Outrip Forayer or Forayer. Creature zombie horror. When this creature enters, choose 1. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn, or exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. It's a 3/2, and it's from Final Fantasy XI. Oh, Gubu Gardener. Look at the Gubu! He's so happy! Tap to add 1 green mana. So 1/3. The parasitic moss that grows in the folds of the Gubu's back is highly valued as an ingredient in various potions and medicines. And this one's from Final Fantasy XI. Same as that. Kutrub Forayer, which I forgot to read the bottom text of. They willfully attain an undead existence to serve their foul mistresses for eternity. And then we have, another Scorpion Sentinel. So we got 2 of them from the same pack. Yeah. 2 of them in the same pack. And then we have White Mage's Staff. Come on. Here we go. Artifact equipment. Job select, of course. Creates a 1/1 colorless hero. And then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Has whenever this creature attacks, you gain 1 life. and is a cleric in addition to its other types. And then next up, a magic pot. Oh yeah, hang on. Which Final Fantasy 1 for the mage's staff, apparently. The white mage's staff. So, magic pot. Ah, this is the magic pot guy. Little goblin guy in the pot. From Final Fantasy V. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. And then you can also pay 2, tap to exile target card from a graveyard. And it says, "Gimme elixir!" Exclamation point. Oh! Zack Fair! Here we go. Look at him. It's the boy. Legendary creature, human soldier. Zack Fair enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Otherwise, he's a 0/1. Pay 1, sacrifice Zack Fair. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Put Zack Fair's counters on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zack Fair to that creature. Gosh, Zack, why is your whole existence just to sacrifice yourself for somebody else? And then, ooh, summon Esperamo. And I don't think it really needs mentioning, of course, Final Fantasy VII for Zack Fair, but Esperamo. Be lovely, near and far. As this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3. Judgment Bolts. This is for the first lore counter. This creature deals damage equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard to target creature and opponent controls. So however many enchantments and sorceries and instants are in your graveyard, deal that damage to a creature. 2 and 3 are the same exact thing, it just repeats it. Wizards you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then it says, I am Ramu, the Esper. And it's a 3/3. It's an enchantment creature, Saga Wizard. Yeah, I think that is the thing they're doing with this set, Final Fantasy. They're making Saga creatures, which is interesting, because normally they're just an enchantment. They sit there, they do their thing, and then they go away. But now they're also a creature that you could then use to attack. In fact, he himself is a wizard, so the wizards you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. That affects him too. So he would become a 4/3 for his second and third turns. Now we have an elixir. The rare elixir that you will never use, even in the final battle, because what if I need it for something more important, right? What if I need it more later? Oh, I forgot to mention. Ramu, this one's Final Fantasy VI, specifically. Elixir, specifically Final Fantasy IV elixir, if that can be distinguished. This artifact enters tapped. Pay 5 and tap to exile this artifact. Shuffle all non-land cards from your graveyard into your library. You gain life equal to the number of cards shuffled into your library this way. Ooh. Then it says fully recovers HP and MP, which is not true for Magic the Gathering rules. Obviously, it just said you gain life equal to the number of cards returned this way. Not fully restores. That's not how it works. But yeah, that is interesting. So I was thinking, oh, so it's a what is it called? Elixir of Life, I think it's called. The actual Magic the Gathering card, which would give you, I think, 5 life, and it shuffles your entire graveyard along with itself back into your library. Whereas this, you shuffle all specifically non-land cards. You can't get lands back this way, but you can get all non-land cards from your graveyard into your library. Also, you'll be exiling this card instead of just sacrificing it. Then we have side quest, play Blitzball. Here. And of course we've got Waka again. Final Fantasy X, of course. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. At the end of combat on your turn, if a player was dealt 6 or more combat damage this turn, transform this enchantment, then attach it to a creature you control. So it's going to become an equipment. Oh, that's a long name. So it says, World Champion Celestial Weapon. Legendary Artifact Equipment. Double Overdrive. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has double strike. Equip cost of 3. And it says at the bottom, sorry for making you wait, Yuna. I had some promises to keep, yeah? I assume that was Waka saying that, but it doesn't specify. Then we have Zeldinkt. Zeldinkt. Here. The legendary creature human monk. And he is from Final Fantasy VIII. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Zeldinkt gets +1/+0 for each land you control. At the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. See, it's that 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But still, if you play him later on in the game, then you've already got a few lands out. He starts out as a 0/3, but you get +1 power for every land you control. So if you've already got like 7-8 lands, he's a 7-8 power creature. And we have Magitech Infantry coming up. And it's holographic. Oh boy. This one's Final Fantasy 15. Very shiny. Robot Soldier. This creature gets +1/+0 as long as you control another artifact. Pay 2 and a white to search your library for a card named Magitech Infantry. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And since the Magitech Infantry is an artifact itself, putting another one onto your battlefield gets you another +1 power for each of them. Does it? This creature gets +1/+0 as long as you control another. Oh, no, it's just as long as you control another. It's not per. Okay. Still, not particularly useful for Commander, of course, because you could only have one. It does not specify otherwise. But for Standard, I'm sure it's decent. So then we have Insomnia Crown City here, which is from Final Fantasy 15 as well. This land enters tapped, and you can tap it to add 1 white or 1 black mana. It's a land town. I need only know that you are ready to leave home behind, said King Regis. Don't know about you, but I'm ready as I'll ever be, replied Noctis. And then... Oh, okay. I saw something on the back. I thought, why does this land have something else on its back if it doesn't flip? But it doesn't. It's just a token hero. Of course, we finally get a token hero for all those artifact equipments that we've gotten that say place a hero token. So token creature hero 1/1 from Final Fantasy 14. Got this Aura Man here. With there's an Aetheryte in the background. Cool. And then on the back of that, there's food. Of course, pay 2, tap to sacrifice this token, you gain 3 life. I don't recall that being the normal food text. I'm pretty sure food was just, you tap it, sacrifice it, you gain 1 life. Now it's pay 2, sacrifice it to gain 3 life. For this one. Interesting. On to the next pack. Again, each of the packs, so you got a little cloud strife on them. Ice Flan. I think sometimes my phone is catching my Samus helmet and thinking it's a face, and so it tries to focus back there instead of on the card. But yes, Ice Flan. When this creature enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove that, or remove one from it instead. And then it has Island Cycling for 2, or it says Island Cycling 2, and it says, I guess you pay 2, discard this card, search your library for an island card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And that's a Final Fantasy X creature. Then next we have a coral. Look at that coral. I said look at the coral. Pay 1 and a white, tap, and tap this to then tap target non-enchantment creature. And it's a 2/2 from Final Fantasy 15, and it says, a lean and limber predator whose whiskers acquire charge from naturally occurring electric particles in the atmosphere. Next, call the mountain chocobo again. And then another Kutrub Fourier. And another Guboot Gardener, alright. Lunatic Pandora. New card. Pay 2, tap to surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Or pay 6 and tap to sacrifice Lunatic Pandora. Destroy target non-land permanent. Inside the Lunatic Pandora is this thing called a crystal pillar. It calls monsters from the moon, says Zeldinkt. And it's from Final Fantasy VIII, just like Zeldinkt. And we have White Auracite. Yo! Is that Minfilia? I think so. It says Final Fantasy 14. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. And you can also tap it to add 1 white mana. Yeah, so it's literally just trap someone's soul inside this White Auracite. I think that's supposed to be Minfilia? It doesn't quite look like her, but I don't know who else it could be. Because it's a White Auracite, Final Fantasy 14, of course. And next up we got Samurai's Katana. Of course, this is going to be another artifact equipment with job select. Equipped creature, however, gets +2/+2, has trample and haste, and is a samurai, in addition to its other types. And then it has, it says Murasame, equip 5. Final Fantasy 14. And then we have Restoration Magic. Instant with multiple things. So tiered, choose one additional cost. So you normally pay you pay 1 mana to cast it, but then you have to pay additional, possibly. Cure costs 0 extra. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Pretty good. Cura for 1 additional mana. Target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and you gain 3 life. And then you've got Curaga for an additional 3 colorless and 1 white. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, and you gain 6 life. So all of your permanents gain it if you pay extra. It's a new card. I like it. Final Fantasy V, it says. Oh, Titus Blitzball Star here. Look at the boy. Legendary creature, human warrior. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Titus. Whenever Titus attacks, tap target creature an opponent controls. So you're just like, and no, that one's not blocking. You know, you can't use that one to block Titus. You can use another one though. And he's a 2/1. Of course, from Final Fantasy X, and it says, every blitzer knows when you got the ball, you gotta score. Yeah, that's kind of the point of the game. When you get the ball and then you try to score. Yep. Phantom Train coming up here. A vehicle artifact. That looks cool. It's got trample, of course, train. Sacrifice another artifact or creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on this vehicle. It becomes a spirit artifact creature in addition to its other types until end of turn. It doesn't have crew. You gotta sacrifice to keep this thing going. And it's a 4/4. Then we have the Lunar Whale next. Oh, wait, also Phantom Train. Final Fantasy VI. The Lunar Whale. Ooh. Flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Anytime, you can just be like, oh, what's that card? What's that? Oh, that's what that card is. Okay, cool. As long as the Lunar Whale attacked this turn, you may play the top card of your library. And it's got a crew 1. So you can attack with the Lunar Whale and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna cast the one up on the top of my library. Because I can. You get like essentially an extra card in hand that way. And we've got Monk's Fist. Okay, it's gonna be another equipment artifact. Oh, and it's holographic. With that like swirl around the fist there. Cool. Job select, of course. And equipped creature gets +1/+0 and is a monk in addition to its other types. From Final Fantasy I, apparently. And then next up we have, we've got a holographic version of that mountain that we saw before. From Final Fantasy IV. Cool, and then we've got another hero token, but on the back of this one is a treasure token. Yes. And sacrifice token, add 1 mana of any color. Same as always. So that is 4 packs down. It's pack time. Ah, we got Paladin's Arms again. Very nice. And then we have Sabo Tender again. Chocobo Kick. That's new. Kicker. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. You may return a land you control to its owner's hand in addition to any other costs as you cast the spell. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. If this spell was kicked, the creature you control deals twice that much damage instead. So if you go ahead and return a land to your hand, you also get to do extra damage with that. It's cool. Chocobuki! Undercity Diarrhea again. Oh, also, Chocobo Kick, Final Fantasy IV. Oh, and the Undercity Diarrhea was apparently from Final Fantasy XII. I don't think I had noticed that the first time we saw the card. Dreams of Laguna. So it says, surveil one, then draw a card. You look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your graveyard, or just leave it there and then draw a card, right? Flashback for 3 and a blue. To cast it again, it's from Final Fantasy 13, and it says, don't go back on your word. Come on, go wave to her. And then we have another Sahagin. Another magic pot. Eden, Seat of the Sanctum. Yeah. Just a town land. You tap to add 1 colorless. Or you pay 5 and tap to mill 2 cards, then you may sacrifice this land. When you do, return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Quick Retreat. This one's also from Final Fantasy 13. It says, this city, Cocoon's capital, shares its name with its Falsi patron. Then we have Evil Reawakened. Sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. And it says, Galoof, it's good to see you again. FF5. And Lock Cole. Legendary creature. Human rogue. Look at him. Final Fantasy VI. He's got Death Touch, Lifelink. Whenever Lock Cole deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. And it says, as long as there are people who need to be protected, I'll keep on fighting. Barrett Wallace here. He's here with his big old gun arm. Final Fantasy VII, of course, I know that. Legendary creature, human rebel with reach. I should hope so. He's got a gun. Whenever Barrett Wallace attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? It doesn't say it, who it's quoting, but it's obviously Barrett. Come on. Surely we all know that. But that is interesting. So if you've got multiple creatures with an equipment, Barrett's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that much damage to your face no matter what, just because I'm attacking, and I'm gonna shoot you. That's pretty cool. Then we have, oh, right behind him, Cloud Midgard Mercenary. Barret and Cloud now. Very nice. Oh, that seems to be a... Yeah, so it looks like Barret was uncommon, and then... I think Cloud is... Is that mythic? It's like the orange. I can't remember if that's rare or mythic. But I think it's mythic. Legendary creature, human soldier mercenary. When Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. That's pretty cool. So if your equipment gives you lifelink, does that give you double the life? Perhaps. Next up is Suplex. And it's holographic sorcery. Is this person gonna suplex that Phantom Train that we saw before? It says it's from Final Fantasy VI. Choose one. Suplex deals 3 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Or exile target artifact. And it says, the time has come to put my training to use. And you're gonna suplex a train, I guess. Treno, Dark City, holographic townland here. Fancy. This land enters tapped. Tap it to add 1 blue or black. There aren't many nobles living here. The nights are long. It's a great place for thieves, says Marcus Tantalus, thief. From Final Fantasy IX. Then we've got an Arc series card of Cloud with his Buster Sword swinging around. Cloud's Limit Break by Billy Christian, 23/53. Cool, so we've gotten 2 art cards now. Dude, I love the Arcadian soundtracks. Oh, we've got a blazing bomb here. Ashes, dust. Whenever you cast... Actually, that's ashes to ashes, ashes to dust, says the blazing bomb. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And then it's got blow up. Tap, sacrifice this creature, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. And it's normally a 1/1 from Final Fantasy IX. Next up, Fight On. Oh, we got Aerith. Fight On! It's Aerith and Yuffie and some sort of beastie in the background. It says, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Just hang in there. Someday we'll look back at these hard times and laugh. Doesn't say who that's quoting. I assume it's Aerith. It says Final Fantasy VII, of course. Yeah. Wonder what that creature is back there. Also, it is odd. I know why it's a black card, but like it's odd to see an Aerith Res card being black. Like, not something you'd think it would be, but if it's gonna be, you know, interacting with the graveyard, that tends to be black cards. Then we have Gissel Greens coming up here. Look at the Chocobo chomping on the Gissel Greens. It says it's from Final Fantasy XI, supposedly. Sorcery: create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever a land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. And it's got flashback, paying 6 and a green. So you can just summon a couple more chocobos to the field. Next up, Magic Damper. Magic Damper. It's an instant. Target creature. Have we run out of... Hang on. What's going on here? Why did... Yes, why did you... YouTube, excuse me? Video paused. Continue watching? Yes! Why did you pause it? What? How dare you, YouTube? Magic Damper. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. You're gonna wish you hadn't, says the flavor text. Final Fantasy 13. And next up is Gallicat. Look at that little kitty flying with his wings. Flying Vigilance. As long as you control 2 or more artifacts, this creature gets +2/+0. That's the ticket. Now let's get moving to North Mountain, says Galuf Valdesian. Final Fantasy V. Next up, Vane's Treachery. This one's from Final Fantasy XII. Kicker. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, that creature gets -6/-6 until end of turn instead. And then Adventurer's Inn, probably going to be a town land, yeah. Nice, lovely. From Final Fantasy III, it says, when this land enters, you gain 2 life, and you can tap it to add 1 colorless. Welcome! We have rooms for 200 gil a night. Would you like to stay and rest your body and mind? Innkeep. And we've got a Cactuar. Cactuar. It's got Trample. At the beginning of your end step, if this creature didn't enter the battlefield this turn, return it to its owner's hand. He doesn't stick around long, does he? But he only costs 1. A cactus with legs that loves to run hither and thither. Watch out for its thorns! Final Fantasy VI. Next up, Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. Is the night, is rising. Legendary creature, Human Noble Cleric. Lifelink. Whenever Garnet attacks, you may remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on Garnet for each lore counter removed this way. Someday I will be queen, but I will always be myself. Final Fantasy IX. She's a 2/2. That is interesting, because that means with Garnet, you can essentially control, or at least somewhat control, the number of lore counters on your sagas. And so you can get more use out of them. Because once they get 3 lore counters, they're gone. Right? But whenever Garnet attacks, you can remove a lore counter from, like, one from each. One per of however many you want to remove from. And then she gets more powerful. It's pretty cool for like a lore, or for like a saga deck. Relentless X-ATM092. Big ol' machine. From Final Fantasy VIII. This creature can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Dang. And it's a 6/5. Pay 8, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped with a finality counter on it. If a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead. And it says, "Let's get the out of here," said by Zell Dinkt. Crazy. And it costs 6, and you just get this 6/5 that can only be blocked by 3 or more creatures. Side quest, raise a chocobo. And it looks like it's a flip card. Look at that. 2 lovely little chocobos. Enchantment. When this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever a land you control. And yeah. I got that. At the beginning of your first main phase, if you control 4 or more birds, transform this enchantment into Black Chocobo. Look at him. When this permanent transforms into Black Chocobo, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, birds you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Birds. All birds. The regular bird creature token says this token gets +1/+0. But then with the Black Chocobo, all birds get another +1/+0. That's cool. Final Fantasy VII is what it says. And then we have Moogle's Valor. Instant with little Moogles on them. From Final Fantasy VI. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. That's quite the instant. It says, "Thanks, Moogles. We're in your debt." By Lock Cole. Yeah, that's crazy. Just... Yes, I have currently 6 creatures on the board, and now I'm getting an additional 6 Moogles. Also, all my creatures have indestructible until end of turn. And also, all those Moogles, they have lifelink, and they're coming at your face. Well, actually, it doesn't say they have haste, but if you have something that gives them all haste, like all your creatures haste, then that would be crazy. Ring of the Lucy, our holographic card here. Ring of the Lucy. Oh, it's a soul ring, essentially. From Final Fantasy 15. You pay 4 to cast it, so it's not quite a soul ring. Legendary artifact, tap to add 2 white or 2 colorless mana, so that's a soul ring thing. But then it says 2, you pay 2 and tap to pay 1 life, tap target non-land permanent. It's a lot of payment. You gotta pay 2 mana, tap the ring, and pay 1 of your life in order to tap down 1 non-land permanent. And then it says, Kings of Lucis, come to me! Noctis, Lucis, Calum. Yeah, looks lovely though. Looks very cool. And then we have a swamp. Little swamp from Final Fantasy II. Followed by a different hero token. Like a black mage, or no, they've got the little fairy there, so it's gotta be a scholar, yeah? This is Final Fantasy XIV. On the other side, we have a horror from Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, it's just an end of days horror. Why not? Yeah. It's 2/2. End of days horror. Alright, so next pack. We have Chocobo Kick again. Followed by another Dreams of Laguna. Magitech Infantry. This one is not holographic, though. Warrior's Sword. Here we go. Job select, and equipped creature gets +3/+2 and is a warrior in addition to its other types. Equip cost of 5. Cornered by black mages. Look at them! They're adorable and they're gonna murder! Oh yeah, so the Warrior's Sword, Final Fantasy 1. Cornered by black mages, target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Create a 0/1 Black Wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is from Final Fantasy 9, and it also says, flavor text, Kuja called them black mages, dark spawn of the mist, said by the Soul Cage. Yeah. They're adorable, though. And then we have another Monk's Fist. And then Gran Pulse Ochu from Final Fantasy 13. It's got Death Touch, and you can pay 8. Until end of turn, this creature gets +1/+1 for each permanent card in your graveyard. And flavor text, a mysterious beast that has grown large on its journey across Gran Pulse. Its children, known as Microcus, accompany the Ochu in combat against adventurers. It's a 1/1 for 1, but if you pay 8 while it's out, you just get +1/+1 for each permanent in your graveyard. Rufus Shinra up in here. Final Fantasy VII. Obviously the remake version of Rufus. Whenever Rufus Shinra attacks, if you don't control a creature named Darkstar, create Darkstar, a legendary 2/2 white and black dog creature token. Flavor text, I'll control the world with fear. It takes too much to do it like my old man. Unexpected Request is next. From Final Fantasy 9. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. You may attach an equipment you control to that creature. If you do, unattach it at the beginning of the next end step. Flavor text, I shall hereby do my best to kidnap you. Aaron's Inspiration is next. There. So it's got Aaron in the clouds background area, and then you got Titus and Yuna in front with, yeah, it looks like Lulu back here. Instant. Attacking creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. with a flashback of 2 and 2 white. Obviously, this is Final Fantasy X. Flavor text: now is the time to choose. Now is the time to shape your stories. Your fate is in your hands. Alright. Next up, Triple Triad. Triple Triad card game, and that's definitely like Leon. Says Final Fantasy VIII. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until end of turn, you may play the card you own exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way with lesser mana value than it without paying their mana cost. That's crazy. So at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to be like, alright, everybody, exile the top card of your library. Let's see. My card, I get to play for free, of course. And if any of your cards have a lower mana value than mine, I get to play them for free as well. That's quite something. Oh boy. Xenos Galvus. The boy, the bad boy, Final Fantasy XIV. Up in here. Legendary creature, human noble warrior. My first friend is his ability. When Xenos Galvus enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than Xenos Galvus and the chosen creature get -2/-2. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Xenos Galvus. He starts out as a 4/4 and he transforms into an 8/8 Shinryu Transcendent Rival. Hoo boy. Flying. Oh, it's legendary creature dragon, of course. Flying. As this creature transforms into Shinryu, choose an opponent. Burning Chains. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Flavor text. The heavens are too small a field for our dance. Let us transcend this mortal coil. Oh, Xenos. Oh, Xenos. Next up, Fire Crystal, our holographic for this pack. Lovely. Legendary artifact. Red spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Nice. Creatures you control have haste. Like I was saying before with the Moogles, if you've got a red-white deck, throw in that Moogle card and this card and get those bunch of Moogles popping in, having haste and lifelink and just charging forth. And also indestructible. Crazy times. You can pay 4 and 2 red, tap this artifact, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, however. This one's from Final Fantasy III, and it says, flavor text, Warriors of Light, only you can restore hope to the world, for yours is the light that can balance out the darkness. Cool card, and you know, the holographic, it looks lovely. Treno Dock City again. And then we've got, ooh, new hero token. I like that there's multiple different heroes, so you can pick the one that you want to use that point. We've got the Mikate, little rogue. Is this? That's definitely Limsa Laminza. Of course I recognize that. Final Fantasy XIV. Lovely. And then on the other side, we got our wizard. We got the little Final Fantasy IX Black Mage. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Why did my music stop again, YouTube? Why? What? I told you to loop the playlist. Come on now. Next, pack. Still got so many cards to get through. I should get some water. Throat getting dry from all this talking. Ice Magic. Fancy. Yeah, that's Lulu there. Final Fantasy X. It's a tiered instant. So it normally costs 1 colorless, 1 blue. And then for 0 additional cost, you can cast Blizzard. Return target creature to its owner's hand. For an extra 2, you cast Blizzara. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. Interesting. Blizzaga for 5 additional plus an additional blue. Target creature's owner shuffles it into their library. Shuffles it in. Crazy. So none of them like kill or destroy a creature, but they do get the creature off the battlefield to some extent, either into the opponent's hand, into their library, either top or bottom, or just into their library and then shuffle. Next is... oh, and man, if there's some sort of effect that happens where you get to know, oh, that's the card that's on their top of their library. You know, whether it be some other spell that causes one of their creatures to go to the top of their library or something like that, or they have to reveal what the top of their library is, and then you can be like, yeah, nah, shuffle that right now. Blizzaga. The next is Dwarven Castle Guard. Look at that dwarf. Big ol' fluffy beard. Final Fantasy IV. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. Lolly-ho is the dwarven greeting. That it is. Next is Thunder Magic. Oh boy, we had the Ice Magic, and now we got the Thunder Magic. Just show, yeah, that's... what's her name? Is her name Lightning or something like that from Final Fantasy 13? Tiered, of course. You've got Thunder, Thundara, Thundaga. For 0 additional cost, Thunder Magic deals 2 damage to target creature. For 3 additional cost, Thundara, Thunder Magic deals 4 damage to target creature. For Thundaga, 5 additional plus an additional red, Thunder Magic deals 8 damage. 8 damage to target creature. Cool, cool, cool. I like the tiered thing. It's pretty nice. So you can kind of choose, okay, I don't have much to spend right now, but I do need to take out that thing, so I'll just deal 2. I'll cast this to deal 2. Or you'll be like, alright, I've got enough mana. I'm dealing 8. It's pretty cool. And then another Undercity Dire Rat. Another Blitzball shot. Another world map. Ooh. Full art. A promise fulfilled. Look at that. Final Fantasy VIII. Light up the stage. Sorcery. Spectacle. But the spectacle says 1. So I guess that's an additional thing. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. So what is... I'm confused, because the card says it costs 2 and a red, but then it says Spectacle 1 red. So what does it do if you don't pay that 1 red, Or do you have to pay that one? So does it really cost 2 colorless and 2 red? Confusing. Confusing. Next up we have Sandworm. It has haste. When this creature enters, destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I'm gonna destroy your land, but don't worry, you get another land back. It has to be basic, and it's gonna be tapped right now. But you get your land back. You know, I'm not really taking away your mana. It's a 5/4. Next up, Demon Wall. Oh yeah, also Sandworm is from Final Fantasy V. But Demon Wall. I fought him in Final Fantasy XIV, which that's what he's from. Defender. Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, but also he's a defender. I guess we'll get to that. As long as this creature has a counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have defender. So you can get a counter on it, then he can attack, and he's got menace. Pay 5 and a black, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. So that's one way to get some counters on him. And that would bump him up to a 5/5, and then he can also attack at that point. And then next up we have Summon Shiva. Heavenly so her first 2, her 1 and her 2, are Heavenly Strike. Tap target creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. And the third is Diamond Dust. Draw a card for each tapped creature your opponents control. But it is interesting. It says, let us summon a sea in a new dream world. Final Fantasy X. Shiva. And of course she is a enchantment creature, Saga Elemental. 4/5. So for Diamond Dust, you just gotta hope that your opponents have a bunch of tapped creatures. So you can draw a bunch of cards. Because, I mean, the Heavenly Strike will help, but it's still just a stun counter on a target creature. Matoya, Archon Elder. Look at her, Final Fantasy XIV. Matoya. Whenever you scry or surveil, draw a card. Draw after you scry or surveil, by the way. That's nice. Don't you know it's rude to enter without knocking? The youth of today. And next up, Kefka, Court Mage. This crazy clown. Oh, and he's a flipper. And he costs 2, 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red. Legendary creature, Human Wizard. Whenever Kefka enters or attacks, each player discards a card. Then you draw a card for each card type among cards discarded this way. Ooh, that's a mouthful. You can pay 8. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent of their choice. Transform Kefka, activate only as a sorcery. And he transforms into Kefka, Ruler of Ruin. Flying. Whenever an opponent loses life during your turn, you draw that many cards. The end draws near. Final Fantasy VI. And next up is a weapons vendor again, but this time he's holographic. And And then we have Guadosalem Farplane Gateway. It's a gateway land, or town land, I guess, even though it says gateway in the name. Crazy. This one is... Oh. No, we already said Final Fantasy VII. Did I? Weapons Vendors Final Fantasy VII. But... Guadosalem. Land enters tapped. It's a tapped land. Add 1 green or blue. And it says, "We, Guado, protect the far plane, so the dead can rest in peace." Guadosalem Citizen. Final Fantasy X. And then we've got, ooh, another new hero token. Look at them. Final Fantasy XIV. That would be the warrior. Now, wait a minute. Actually, because they got the axe, but then I see that rapier back there. I see that, among other things. And then on the other side, you got another bird token. Yeah. The double-sided, that's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you get more tokens. You know? You get 2 for the price of 1, as it were. However, what if you've got a bird hero token deck, and now you gotta choose which one you're gonna use of this. You know, what if you wanted to use both? You can't. You gotta pick one. Next pick. Ooh, and this pack has an art series card in it. Ooh, summon Choco/Mog. It's got 4. It's got 4 lures. And they're all the same. Stampede. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Enchantment creature Saga Bird Moogle. And it's a 3/3. And it says, "Work? Kaboom!" Final Fantasy VII. Next is Item Shopkeep. So we had the weapon shopkeep, and now we got the item shopkeep. Whenever you attack, target attacking equipped creature gains menace until end of turn. What can I do for you? Final Fantasy III. Malboro. Ooh. Ugh. Creature Plant Horror from Final Fantasy XV. Bad Breath, of course. When this creature enters, each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life, and exiles the top 3 cards of their library. Whew! That's a lot. And it's got swamp cycling for 2. You pay 2, discard this card, search your library for a swamp card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Bad breath though. And actually, the swamp cycling can be pretty useful, especially in a black deck, you know, because black card, you can be like, alright, and bad breath. And then I'm going to swamp cycle this to get a swamp, and then I'm going to use this other spell, whatever spell you choose, to bring it back onto the battlefield, and bad breath again. And there's the Bard's Bow. Look at that bard with their fancy hat. Final Fantasy XIV again. Job select, and equipped creature gets +2/+2, has reach, and is a bard in addition to their other types. And it says Perseus's Bow, equip 6. That's a high equip cost, but it does give +2/+2 and reach. Next is Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. There. It's Flash. Enchant artifact or creature. When this aura enters, tap enchanted permanent. Enchanted permanent doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So it's a blue version of the there's a white card that does that. It's called like imprisonment or something. Or pacify, or no, that one the creature can't attack. Not that it doesn't untap, but there are things that do that. And next is another white aura site. Nice. And then another Lunatic Pandora. Ooh, full art. Barren Rivalry. Deadly Dispute. Here. It's an instant. Final Fantasy IV. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Be honey, be lovely, be your one and only champion. I'll be your all-time royal, worship me. Clash of the Icons is next. Quite the destruction. Final Fantasy 16. I thought it might be. Yeah, that's Ifrit clashing with some probably Titan. I think so. Choose one or more. Target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. Remove a lore counter from target saga you control. Removing lore counters doesn't cause chapter abilities to trigger. So it doesn't trigger when you remove one, but it will trigger, when you add one on your next turn. Put a lore counter on target saga you control. Well, since I'm sure you can choose the order of those events, you could remove a lore counter from a saga you control, and then put a lore counter back on that saga, thus activating it, right? Because removing counters doesn't cause chapter abilities to trigger. But putting a counter on, that would cause it to trigger, right? Interesting. Then you've got Magitech Armor here. Look at that. But Final Fantasy VI. When this vehicle enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. Crew 1. Comes with its own crew. Random encounter. Look at that. Got a bunch of different creatures. Shuffle your library, then mill 4 cards. Put each creature card milled this way onto the battlefield. They gain haste. At the beginning of the next end step, return those creatures to their owner's hand. Flashback for 6 and 2 red from Final Fantasy II. Apparently, this particular random encounter is from Final Fantasy II, as opposed to Final Fantasy 1 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. The Wandering Minstrel is next. Oh, you Wandering Minstrel from Final Fantasy 14. He's all like, hey, you want to fight a harder fight? And, oh yeah, that's it's got depictions of Ifrit and Garuda and Titan and not 100% on this fourth guy here. Clearly an armored individual. It says here, lands you control enter untapped. Okay, so if you've got tapped lands, they enter untapped. Thanks. The Minstrel's Ballad. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more towns, create a 2/2 elemental creature token that's all colors. For 3, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, 1 green. Other creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of towns you control. Quite the card, this Wandering Minstrel. Now for our holographic Cloudbound Mogul. Look at him. And he says, flying! When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Plane cycling. For 2, you pay 2, discard this card, search for planes. Cool. And then we have Rabanasta Royal City. I believe, is that Final Fantasy? No, it's not Final Fantasy 16, is it? No, it's Final Fantasy 12. Town land, of course, and it's a tap land, just, you know, minstrel, another tap land. The town proper of Rabanastre is divided into 4 sections by the cardinal directions of the compass. The east and west are merchant districts, the streets lined with shops and stalls of every description. And then we've got, oh boy, it's him. It's Kefka Court Mage by Roribe, 46 of 53. Kefka. Of all the art cards, we get Kefka, huh? And we got another Scorpion Sentinel, another Summon Chocomog, another Item Shop Cape, another Malboro, another Bard's Bow. Man, getting a lot of duplicates now. Laughing Mad, that one's new. There's Kefka again. Final Fantasy VI. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card. You draw 2 cards, though. Flashback of 3 and a red. Then we have an Adventurer's Airship. I think we got an airship before, but I don't think it was Adventurers. Flying. Whenever this vehicle attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. Crew 2. Ooh, an art card, or a full art card. Battle at the Big Bridge. Fatal Bush. Oh, what is this? Yeah, it is. It's him. Gilgamesh. Final Fantasy V. Instant. Destroy target creature if it has mana value 2 or less. Revolt. Destroy that creature if it has mana value 4 or less. Instead, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. Crazy. And it only costs 1 black. Galoof's Final Act. This is until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains when this creature dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its power on up to 1 target creature. And then it says Final Fantasy V, and flavor text is, I'll destroy you, Exdeath, even if it means I have to take you into the afterlife myself. Well, if you're the one destroying someone, then you're taking them into the afterlife yourself, are you not? Pretty sure that's how destroying someone works. Sir, Galoof. Dark Knight's Great Sword is next. Look at that. Is that Sissel? That was his name, right? Something like that. From the Dark Knight questline. It says Final Fantasy 14, so I bet it is. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and is a knight in addition to its other types. Of course, job select. Yeah, so you get +3 power. Chaos Bringer. Equip, pay 3 life. Activate only once each turn, though. The equipment cost is paying life. Well, this is Dark Knight. Oh, another Rufus Shinra here. And then Arden the Usurper. It's Final Fantasy 15, isn't it? Yes. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. Star Scourge. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile the card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card. Except it's a 5/5 black demon. And of course, demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. Oh boy. Then we've got our holographic, You're Not Alone. Look at that. It's that Final Fantasy 9. Again. Fancy. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more creatures, it gets +4/+4 until end of turn instead. You've always protected us, but you still don't understand that we looked out for you too, says Dagger. Then we have Charlian, Nation of Scholars. Final Fantasy 14, looking lovely. Townland. Enters tapped, and you can tap it to get a white or blue. The Charlians were the keepers of wisdom, both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Minfilia Ward. And then we've got, a new hero token, Final Fantasy 14. Look at this cool token. Lalafell, Summoner. With the Ifrit summon. And then there's also like a greatsword, Dark Knight greatsword back there. That looks cool. On the other side, food. Magitek Infantry. Warrior Sword, again. Cornered by the Black Mages. Gubu Gardener. I think that's my third Gardener. Scorpion Sentinel. Again. White Horse. Man, bunch of duplicates this time. Lunatic Pandora. Fire Magic. Here we go. Something new. Look at that Black Mage. Final Fantasy 9. Tiered, of course. For 0 additional, you cast Fire. Fire magic deals 1 damage to each creature. To each creature, not each opponent's creature. Each creature, including your own. Fyra for 2 additional. Fire magic deals 2 damage to each creature. Feraga for 5 additional. Fire magic deals 3 damage to each creature. You gotta be careful with that. It's that is the definition of I didn't ask the size of the room. I said I cast Fireball. Gaius van Beelzar. Kneel. Such devastation. This was not my intent. When Gaius van Beelzar enters, choose one. Each player sacrifices a creature token of their choice. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. Each player sacrifices an enchantment of their choice. Crazy. And then Snowvilliers. Yeah, we did that one before. Final Fantasy 13, if I hadn't said. Vigilance has power equal to the number of creatures you control. And then Sid, Timeless Artificer. That's not the Sid I know. Who is this little gnome guy? Final Fantasy 3 Sid, I guess. Artifact creatures and heroes you control get +1/+1 for each Artificer you control and each Artificer card in your graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Sid, Timeless Artificer. So you can have a Sid deck if you want. Just all Sids, all the time. All Sids, since they're Artificers. When artifact creatures and heroes you control get +1/+1 for each Artificer you control. So you'd want to have a bunch of Sids, and then some artifact creatures and heroes, I guess? Those are separate, right? It says artifact creatures and heroes. Yeah. Next is Noctis, Prince of Lucis. We've heard of him, and here he is. Final Fantasy 15, of course. He has lifelink. You may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their other costs. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters with a finality counter on it, though. You get the 1. You get to recast it once. Many sacrificed all for the king. So must the king sacrifice himself for all. Next is Ride the Shoopuf, but it is holographic this time. And then a different mountain. Final Fantasy 6 mountain. Nice. And then you get this same hero, other side treasure. Cool. Next pack. On the upside, when we get duplicates, it makes it go by a little faster. Alright. Summon GF Ifrit. Summon Girlfriend Ifrit? What? Hot Demon Girlfriend? From Final Fantasy 8. So he's got 4. He gets up to 4 lore counters. The first 2 are you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And then the second 2 are add 1 red mana. Flavor text. Not bad for a human. And next is an Ahriman. There he is, that eyeball boy. That Mike Wazowski with wings. Flying Death Touch. Pay 3, sacrifice another creature or artifact to draw a card. Final Fantasy 3 and flavor text. The wrath of Dark has nearly reached its zenith. No one can stop it, least of all you. Next is Balam T. Rexar. T-Rexor. We got a T-Rex. From Final Fantasy VIII. Trample. When this creature enters, you gain 3 life. Forest Cycling for 2. And then flavor text. Sometimes it's better to run. Quistis Trepe. Next is Dragoon's Wyvern. Look at that happy little guy. Flying. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. Final Fantasy XI. And it says flavor text. I heard that to become a Dragoon, you had to make a pact with a living wyvern. However, thanks to the Dragon Slayers, there aren't that many dragons left. It says Cerulean Sandaria, citizen. Then Cloudbound Moogle again. Yeah, you've seen that one before. Sycopate. For a second I was like, YouTube, not again. Costs X plus a red, or plus a blue, I should say. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Final Fantasy X, and it says, your eyes, they burn with resolve. Beautiful. And next we get a full art card, Bart's Klauser, Winota, Joiner of Forces. And this is an interesting bit of art. Final Fantasy V, legendary creature, human warrior. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then Samurai's Katana again. Restoration Magic again. Titus Blitzball Star again. Garland, Knight of Cornelia. Collection those cards. And he's a flip card. Legendary creature, human knight. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1. And then he's got pay 3 and 2 black, 2 red. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield, transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. He's from Final Fantasy 1, and it says, I, Garland, will knock you all down. Flipped over, he's Chaos the Endless. Flying. When Chaos dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. Even as you die again and again, I shall return. So when Chaos... Now, I assume when Chaos dies, and it says you put it on the bottom of its owner's library, you would put it flipped back to Garland again. Right? Because otherwise you can't really cast him, because he doesn't have... Chaos doesn't have a casting cost. So I assume you would flip it back to Garland. But next is Seifer Almasi. Seifer. Final Fantasy VIII. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Firecross. Whenever Sefer Almacy deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Yeah, so Sefer is... So the gold is the rare. It's got a little R down here. And that means the orange is definitely the mythic, like I had thought. Next is Airship Crash, our holographic. Final Fantasy IX. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. Oh, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. The creature with flying is because I was like, how would an enchantment have flying? And then, oh no, they mean it could be an artifact, it could be an enchantment, or it could be a creature, but only if that creature has flying. Cycling 2. You can pay 2 to discard this card, draw and draw a card. And then flavor text. Just our luck to crash in this forest. It's gonna be interesting. Baku, Tantalus Leader. Then we have Gon, Town of Ruin, which is also holographic. Land enters tapped. Final Fantasy V. They say that beyond the dunes is the Town of Ruin, but no one can even enter the desert to find out, let alone cross it. Cid Previa. And then we've got our little rogue hero, but on the opposite side of this is a copy. This token can be used to represent a copy of something else. Woo! Next, we have combat tutorial again. Magitech infantry again. Another warrior sword. Whoa. Resentful revelation. With Sephiroth there. Sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Flashback for 6 and a black. The Genova project resulted in my conception. And then we got Chocobo Kick. Ooh, Hill Gigas. Trample, Haste, Mountain Cycling for 2. This place is dangerous. Be careful, says Zozo Resident. Final Fantasy VI. Crossroads Village. This land enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. That's nice. You've got to destroy the Dreadnought, says Bafsk Resident. Final Fantasy II. Capital City. We're getting a lot of towns all of a sudden. And this is Final Fantasy 16. I thought so, because I saw that giant crystal. Tap to add a colorless, or pay 1 and tap to add 1 mana of any color, so it's a filter land. And it's got cycling 2 to discard this card to draw a new card. Summon Anima. Down. Final Fantasy X. The first 3 of its 4 sagas is Pain. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. There's no May. You draw a card and you lose a life for 3 turns after you cast this. And then the 4th, Oblivion. Each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice and loses 3 life. Then we have Omega, Heartless Evolution. Omega. No, we just recently finished up his little storyline in Final Fantasy XIV. Legendary artifact creature robot. Wave cannon. When Omega enters, for each opponent, tap up to one target non-land permanent that opponent controls. So, okay, so no, for each of your opponents, you go to each one and go, okay, I tap this one, I'm gonna tap this one, I'm gonna tap this one. You, I'm gonna tap this one. You, I'm gonna tap this one, right? Put X stun counters on each of those permanents, and you gain X life, where X is the number of non-basic lands you control. Okay, Omega. Alright. He enters, I just go like, alright, I'm gonna tap this card of yours, and I'm gonna tap this card, and I'm gonna tap this card. And then for each of them, I'm gonna put, let's say I've got 5 non-basic lands. I'm gonna put 5 stun counters on each of, they're out for 5 turns. That's crazy. Yeah, and it's any non-land permanent too. So it could be an artifact. Like, yeah, your Soul Ring? Nah, not for 5 turns, sorry. I'm gonna stun it. Next, summon Primal Garuda. There she is. And she's got, oh, and this is Final Fantasy XIV Garuda. Yes, I'm still watching. Stop pausing it. YouTube? Yes, I'm still listening. Because it's a banger. Alright, she's got 3. Her first is Aerial Blast. This creature deals 4 damage to target tapped creature an opponent controls. Has to be a tapped creature. Interesting. But then the next 2 are Slipstream. Another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. And of course, Garuda herself has flying. Next is the Water Crystal. We've got the Fire Crystal, although our Fire Crystal is holographic and the Water Crystal is not. This is from Final Fantasy III. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many cards +4 instead. If they would mill cards, they mill that many cards plus an additional 4. You know, just mill 4 more, please. You can pay 4 and 2 blue, tap the Water Crystal. Each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. But of course, the Water Crystal itself says +4 more. So if you've got, say, 4 cards, they're gonna mill 8. All of them are going to mill 8 cards. Because you said so. Next up, our holographic Vincent's Limit Break. Which we've seen before, but this time it's holographic. And then we have Charlian Nation of Scholars again. Lovely town. And then we have a new hero. A bard hero with some dancer... No, it's not Chocums. Is it? Is it Chocums? I think. Maybe. Yeah, the little discus weapons. And then on the other side, we've got another bird. Very nice. Of course, Final Fantasy XIV for the hero. Got building up quite the stack of cards over here. Next pack, though. Okay. There's still like 16 more packs. Dude. So many cards. This one's got an art card in it. But we got Gooba Gardener, Scorpion Sentinel again, Curl again, Call of the Mountain Chocobo, Kutrub Fourier. Instant Ramen! Final Fantasy 15, yeah? Yeah. Flash. When this artifact enters, draw a card. Pay 2 and tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. And it says, it's not about finding the single best ingredient. It's about crafting that perfect blend of meat, egg, and shrimp. That harmony of flavors is key. Next, the Imperial City of Arcades, Wall of Omens Fort. Ooh, fancy. Very fancy. From Final Fantasy 12. Creature Wall, Defender. When this creature enters, draw a card. Nice. And it's a 0/4 Defender. Next is Ring of the Lucy. This time it's not holographic. Shantoto Tactician Magician. What's next? From Final Fantasy 11. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Shantoto gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. If X is 4 or more, you draw a card. Also, it's a legendary creature Dwarf Wizard. Oh ho 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 ho! I might be the harshest mistress in all of Vana'diel, but I may yet forgive you, if at my feet you kneel. And we have Dragoon's Lance. Now we can have a Dragoon hero. Job select, of course. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and is a knight in addition to its other types. During your turn, equipped creature has flying. Yeah, that tracks. And it's Gaybolg, equip 4. Ooh. Fang, Fearless, Icy? Lissy? I think it's Icy. Apostrophe? C-I-E? Look at that. So, legendary creature, human warrior from Final Fantasy 13. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. Melds with Vanille, Cheerful, Lucy. What do you mean melds with? Hang on, there's the other... Oh. The other side is a half a card. Legendary creature beast avatar. Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Haste. When... Apparently the card's called Ragnarok. I don't get that, but here it says, when Ragnarok dies, destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When prayers turn to promises, not even fate can stand in their way. Final Fantasy 13, huh? It's a cool card, but I guess I'm gonna need Vanille, Cheerful, Icy. Next we have Balthier and Fran. Balthier and Fran. Look at them. Final Fantasy 12. Reach. Vehicles you control get +1/+1 and have Vigilance and Reach. Whenever a vehicle crewed by Balthier and Fran this turn attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, you may pay 1 and a red and a green. If you do, after this phase, there is an additional combat phase. But you got legendary creature, human rabbit. Yep, sure. And next is Laughing Mad, but this time it's holographic. And then we have an island. A lovely island. From Final Fantasy X. Then we have the art card. It says Summon Bahamut by Kota Nakatsubo. 37 of 53. It looks cool. It's real cool. I like it. I like it. Next pack. Alright, here we have... Oh, Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum again. You're Not Alone again. Light of Judgment. Kefka again. Final Fantasy VI, of course. Light of Judgment deals 6 damage to target creature. Destroy up to 1 equipment attached to that creature. I was there. I saw when Kefka used his Light of Judgment to torch the village of Moblis far to the east, says Zen resident. Sephiroth's Intervention. Oh boy. Destroy target creature, you gain 2 life. Fate is not to be taken lightly, Cloud. Final Fantasy VII, of course. Dude. I'm sure there's an Aerith card, and I'm sure you could use Sephiroth's Intervention to kill Aerith. That would be... Hang on. Bots. Be gone. In fact, Sephiroth's Intervention on you. Gigantoad is next. Hate these guys in Final Fantasy XIV. They keep drawing you in, they latch you and pull you over and do an AoE. Final Fantasy 15, in this case. As long as you control 7 or more lands, this creature gets +2/+2. The Gigantoad is known to venture outside of its comfort zone during downpours, much to the surprise of unsuspecting hikers. And then we have Vane's Treachery again. Loperit Scout. Look at that Loperit. Creature Rabbit Scout. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I've come to realize that it's important to put down the book every now and then, and experience some adventures for myself. Final Fantasy XIV. Lovely. Travel the overworld. On a chocobo, I guess. Final Fantasy V. Affinity for Towns. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each town you control. Normally it costs 5 and 2 blue, but if you've got 5 towns, it only costs 2 blue. But what it does is it draws you 4 cards. That's nice. Al-Bed Salvagers again. And then Galus Final Act. Prompto Argentum. Prompto with their camera, your photography, your selfies while everybody else is fighting. Legendary creature, human scout. He has haste. Selfie shot. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, create a treasure token. Look out, world! Here we come! Next, Lindblom Industrial Regency full art. Or not quite full art, but like more art. Borderless. Land Town. So Final Fantasy IX. And it's got Mage Siege. Pay 2 and a red, instant adventure. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. This land enters tapped. Tap it to add 1 red. A city encircled by the ramparts of a massive castle. Next, Evil Reawakened again. But this time it's holographic. And then we have Windrust Federation Center. Townland. Looks pretty. The first star Sybil gained the powers. The first star Sybil gained the powers of the stars and moon at Full Moon Fountain. She found the stars of hope from within the darkness and led Windurst to glory. Final Fantasy 11. And then we've got that hero that we saw before, and the back is the wizard black mage guy. Next. Card tank. This one's got an art card instead of a token. Curl. Carl the Mountain Chocobo. Katrub. Commune with beavers. Sure. Final Fantasy 2. Sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact, creature, or land card from among them, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Guy speaks beaver is the flavor text. And then we have Ice Flan again. Summon Chocomog. Crossroads Village. Oh, Squan Leonhardt. Danitha Capuchin Paragon. Full art. And it says legendary creature human knight. First strike, vigilance, lifelink. Aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. He's uncommon. Then we have Saz's Chocobo. He's so cute! So small and cute! He's a creature bird, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It's normally a 0/1, but it will get strong in time. Final Fantasy 13. The chick has no name, as voicing the true identity of the animal might trigger ripples of destiny across Cocoon and cause a hurricane in Eden. Either that, or Saz just hasn't thought of one yet. Then we have Summon Primal Garuda, but it's a little different this time. I think it's still got the same effect, but it's Final Fantasy 14, but it's just got different art. Got Aerial Blast. This creature deals 4 damage to... Why do you keep not looping? I don't... I say loop playlist. That says loop video. Why did it say loop video? Yeah, no. Loop playlist. Stop removing that right at the end of the playlist. Anyways. Aerial Blast, this creature deals 4 damage to target tapped creature and opponent controls, and then the other 2, Slipstream. Another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. And we have Circle of Power. Sorcery. Is that a black mage thing? Final Fantasy 14, I think it is. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. Well, that's not nice. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you did. Wizards you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. Machinist Arsenal. Look at that. Final Fantasy 14. Job select. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact you control, and is an artificer in addition to its other types. +2/+2 for each artifact? That's a lot. That's a lot. If you equip this to your commander and you just have a bunch of artifacts, that could be death right there. I mean, if you've got 10 artifacts, which is a lot of artifacts to be fair, but if you've got 10 artifacts, that's +20/+20. That is a powerful artifact, this Machinist Arsenal. That's crazy. Then we have Summon Titan, holographic. Nice. Final Fantasy 15. The first saga, mill 5 cards. The second, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And the third, until end of turn, another target creature you control gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of lands you control. That's pretty crazy. Also, he's a 7/7 with reach and trample. Yeah. Now it's only until end of turn, but still, another creature just gets trample and +X/+X being that, with X being the number of lands that you control. Crazy. Next we have Treno Dark City. Oh yeah, I think we've seen that one before. Yeah, Final Fantasy 9. Marcus Tantalus Thief, yep. Oh, and then the art card is Golbez, Crystal Collector by Tetsu Kurosawa, 45 of 53 here. Really cool Golbez art. Nice. Next. You're not alone again. Light of Judgment. Sephiroth's intervention. He's always intervening. Gigantode. Rook Turret. That's the machinist thing. Final Fantasy 14, of course. Flying. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. 'Tis unfortunate that many Ishgardians cannot appreciate the practicality of my work. Stefanivian de Helena. Yes. Next, Aerith Rescue Mission. In the same package as a Sephiroth's intervention. Huh? Well, choose one. Take the elevator, create 3 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. Or take 59 flights of stairs. Tap up to 3 target creatures, put a stun counter on one of them. If a permanent with a stun counter, but yeah, we know that. Okay. Oh boy. Next is Crossroads Village again. Snowvilliers again. Aloof's Final Act again. Dark Knight's Greatsword again. Summon GF Ifrit, but it's a fancy art one. Summon Girlfriend Ifrit. Final Fantasy 8. Of course, you may discard a card if you do draw a card for the first 2, and then the second 2 add 1 red mana. It is cool. Cool full art. Or I guess borderless art. And then summon Leviathan. Yeah, it's getting lots of summons here. So Leviathan, Final Fantasy 15. The first of its 3, return each creature that isn't a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent to its owner's hand. The second and third are each until end of turn. Whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent attacks, draw a card. And he himself has Ward 2. Which means if anybody wants to target him with a spell, they have to pay 2, an additional 2. Next is a holographic Town Greeter. I think we got Town Greeter before. It was like in the first or second pack, but this one's holographic. Yeah, this is Cornelia, the City of Dreams. All about milling. Ooh, an island, but this one's Final Fantasy VIII. Look at that nice island. And then we've got a new hero. Beep, 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 new hero alert. Final Fantasy XIV. This Lancer Dragoon guy. Not sure exactly where he is, though. It's got an ETH rate. There's also a samurai sword there and another sword, which is probably a paladin sword. And on the back is a treasure. Next. Up. This one's got an art card in it. Oh, we got suplex again. Time to suplex a train. Namazu Trader. Yo's Namazu. Final Fantasy 14. Fish Citizen. When this creature enters, you lose 1 life and create a treasure. Okay. Yeah, I guess that tracks. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, surveil 2. Then we have Airship Crash again. Retrieve the Esper. It's new. Final Fantasy 6. Create a 3/3 blue robot warrior artifact creature token. Then if this spell was cast from a graveyard, put 2+1/+1 counters on that token. Flashback for 5 and 1 blue. Woo. Okay, so you create a 3/3 blue robot warrior, and then if you do the flashback, you create another one, and it gets 2+1/+1 counters, so it becomes a 5/5. Next is Fate of the Suncrest. Ooh. Final Fantasy 12. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Destroy target non-land permanent. Woo. Normally costs 4 and a white. But next, Vincent's Limit Break again. Iron Giant again. That's only the second one we've gotten though. Phantom Train, again, only the second we've gotten of that. Ring of Lucille, that's the third. But only this, or Lucy, I should say. Lucy. Though we've gotten 1 holographic, and this is the second non-holographic. And there's Shantoto Tactician Magician again. X-Death Void Warlock. I don't think we've gotten Void Warlock X-Death before. Legendary creature, Spirit Warlock. When it enters, you gain 3 life. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform X-Death. Witness what befalls those who stand against me. Okay, no, this is, yeah, we got this one. It's just the previous one we got was holographic. But now you can get a better look at, you know, this art of it. Alright. Hey, Karen, sorry, my camera here, it's got 2 modes, close-up and not close-up. Sarah Farron. Final Fantasy 13. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Sarah Farron. Our own private heaven. And the transformed is crystallized Sarah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just why not just crystallize her, I guess. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast, still. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. Yeah, that's great. Just don't worry, she's just a crystal who's gonna make sure that more legendary creatures get buffs. The sea who fulfill their focus for their fallacy master are transformed into crystal and granted life eternal. Yeah, granted life eternal as a crystal. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a punishment or at all. Sounds like a great time. Yeah. And next is Aaron's Inspiration again, but this time it's holographic. Did we have a holographic Aaron's Inspiration? Maybe we did. I don't know. Windthirst Federation Center again. Land. But, ooh, new art. Vivi Ornitier, Tony Infante. Yeah, by Tony Infante. Very lovely. I like it. I love it. It is lovely art of Vivi. 17 of 53. Love it. Let's see. Still got a lot more to go through. Blazing Bomb again. Fight On again. Giselle Greens again, but this time it's not holographic. Magic Damper. Again, this, I'm pretty sure the last one we had was holographic. Cloudband Moogle. Laughing Mad again. Adventurous Airship again. Ooh, Newfound Adventure. Look at this. Ardbird, isn't that? Yeah. Farseek. Sorcery. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Final Fantasy 14. That Ardbird. Or it might... It's probably... No, it's not Ardbird. It's the character that they use for all their trailers for the Final Fantasy 14 expansions. Valkyrie Aerial Unit. That one's new. Affinity for artifacts. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Flying. When this creature enters, surveil 2. And then we have Lionheart again. Dark Knight's Greatsword again. Kane, Traitorous Dragoon. That one's new. Final Fantasy IV. It's got Jump. During your turn, Kane has Flying. Whenever Kane deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kane. If they do, you draw that many cards. You draw a number of cards equal to the damage you dealt, or it just says you draw that many cards. Create that many tapped treasure tokens, then lose that much life. When he deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kane. If they do, you draw that many cards. Create that many tapped treasure tokens. Then lose that much life. I assume it's the amount of damage you dealt. It doesn't specify. Usually cards specify. They'll put like an X, where X is whatever. Holographics Scorpion Sentinel. Baron Airship Kingdom. That's new. Final Fantasy IV. Land enters tapped. The advent of the airship marked the realization of Baron's dreams, but also the birth of its militarism. And then we have this hero card again, and on the back is Bird. I think that's a new art for Bird. Alright, next. Gotta speed up. Dreams of Laguna again. Paladin's Arms again. Sabotender again. Cornered by Black Mages. Commune with Beavers. Monk's Fist. Gran. Pulse Ochu. Reach the Horizon new. Final Fantasy VII. Sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and/or town cards with different names. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Guess this is goodbye, City of Mako, says Tifa Lockhart. Eject! This spell can't be countered. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then you draw a card. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII. Rydia, Summoner of Mist. That's new. Final Fantasy IV. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Summon. Pay X and tap. Return target Saga card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. With a finality counter on it, it gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. That could be pretty powerful. You could return Titan from the graveyard to the battlefield with haste, and he's a 7/7. Next side quest, Hunt the Mark. Final Fantasy XII. When this enchantment enters, destroy up to 1 target creature. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under an opponent's control this turn, create a treasure token. Then, if you control 3 or more treasures, transform this enchantment. Yasmat Ultimate Mark. Oh boy! Legendary creature dragon. Pay 1 and a black, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Yasmat gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Wow. Legend says it is an anima, guardian to a sacred blade. Though most sacred amongst its kind, its great power drove it to madness, and in the end it became a threat to its own creator. And then we have Vincent Valentine. He's a flip card. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine, equal to that creature's power. Whenever Vincent Valentine attacks, you may transform it. Whenever he attacks. Into Galleon Beast. Trample, lifelink. When Galleon Beast dies, return it to the battlefield tapped. Front face up. This body is the punishment that's been given to me. Crazy. Crazy. So when he attacks, you can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna flip. He's a Galleon Beast now, and he's got Trample and Lifelink. And you know, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters on him. Yeah. That's crazy. Holographic Coral. And we have, ooh, very cool Final Fantasy 13 Island. And then our art card is Tifa Lockhart. Tifa, Martial Artist by Robert Cornelius, 52 of 53. We've got 10 packs left. Oh boy. What do we have? We've got Bird's Bow, Rook Turret, Aerith Rescue Mission, Light of Judgment, Sephiroth's Intervention, another pack with both the Aerith's Rescue Mission and Sephiroth's Intervention. Crossroads Village again. Lunatic Pandora. Capital City. The Crystals Chosen. That's new. Final Fantasy III. Create 4 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. Then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Each creature you control, just all of your creatures, including those 4 new heroes. Within the light, the will of the crystals surged through them. They decided to accept their destiny, and so begin a journey to dispel the darkness and return light to the world. Ilmeg Pixie! Well, hello there! Final Fantasy XIV. Flying. Whenever this creature attacks, surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Well now, aren't you just brimming with life? I'd love to suck up all that ether like nectar from a flower. Oh, those Ilmeg Pixies. And then we have Summon Fenrir. Yes. Saga Wolf. So he gets 3. Crescent Fang. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Then for second saga, Heaven's Ward Howl. This is a Final Fantasy 11. There's Heaven's Ward Howl. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. And then for its third, Ecliptic Growl. Draw a card if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. Very conditional third saga bit. Flavored text. Who dares summon me from the darkness? And we have Cecil Dark Knight. Here we go. He's a flip card too, and he's a rare. Final Fantasy IV, Death Touch, Darkness. Whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. Then, If your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Sissel and transform it. But first, flavor text. I suppose this is my fate as a Dark Knight. Soon, I won't even feel remorse for my actions. Sissel, Redeemed Paladin. Lifelink. Protect. Whenever Sissel attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Flavor text. This is my battle. One I must fight alone to atone for my wrongs. Why would you say, this is my battle, one I must fight alone, when your ability clearly states that it's great for attacking with friends? That's an odd choice. But then we've got Holographic Subattender. Gone, Town of Ruin. Not Tower, Town. And there's wonderful Lalafell Hero token with the back as a Moogle. If it'll focus. Lifelink Moogle. Finally got a token for that card we got that summons Moogles. Right. Cloudbound Moogle again. Another Hot Demon Girlfriend of Free. Another Araman. Another Balam Tyrixor. Another Dragoon's Wyvern. This one's not holographic. Another Syncopate. Another Adventures in Coral Sword. That's new. Final Fantasy V. Flash. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 as well. Equip cost 1. Then we've got Poison the Waters. Final Fantasy VI. Choose one. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Target player reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature card. Don't know if you hear that, but lightning or thunder just roared pretty loudly and for a long time too. Alright, choose an artifact or creature card from it. That player discards that card. And flavor text. Nothing beats the sweet music of hundreds of voices screaming in unison. So that's definitely Kefka there again. Swallowed by Leviathan. That's new. Final Fantasy II. Choose target spell. Surveil 2. Then counter the chosen spell, unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. So you get the chance to add more cards to your graveyard, and then you're like, okay, but also counter that unless you pay 1 for each of these. Another side quest, raise a chocobo. Summon Brynhildr. New summon. Its first of 3 sagas is Chain. Exile the top card of your library. During any turn you put a lore counter on this saga, you may play that card. So if you have a way to add a lore counter to the card on somebody else's turn, then you could play the card on somebody else's turn. The second and third are Gestalt mode. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste until end of turn. Flavor text, a name in blood, a pact of flame. Final Fantasy 13. Ooh. Queen Braum. Final Fantasy 9. It has prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Whenever Queen Braun attacks, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token. With, you know, the things that it has. And then we've got a lovely plain 7th Heaven Plains. And then, ooh, new hero, beep, beep, beep. Final Fantasy 14. Lion Boy. Nice. Machinist. Backside is food. Next. Card pack. Red Mage's Rapier. There we go. Red Mage's weapon. Final Fantasy 1. Job select and equipped creature has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and is a wizard in addition to its other types. And then we got right after that Black Mage's Rod. Cool. Job select and equipped creature gets +1/+0, has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent, and is a wizard in addition to its other types. It becomes a wizard creature token. Precious Wanderings. Oh yeah, the Black Mage's Rod is Final Fantasy 1 as well. But Precious Wanderings, Final Fantasy 11. Search your library for a basic land card or town card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When you search your library this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Flavor text, there's only one reason. They smell an adventure. Come on, we've got no time to lose. Kikern Merchant, look at him! He wants to do business. How could you deny him business? Look at his cute face. Preacher Beast Citizen. 1/4. Pay 1 and tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Pay 7 and tap. Sacrifice this creature! How could you? Draw 3 cards. This ability costs 1 less to cast, or 1 less to activate for each town you control. That's horrible! How dare you! Sacrifice this lovely little Kikern. Just so you can draw 3 cards. He just wants to do business. Final Fantasy 11. And the flavor text. Small beastmen that live alongside humans in the Ut-Urgan Empire. Their ancestors were nomads in the north, and their unique culture and customs can be seen even now. How could you sacrifice him? Next card, Slash of Light. Final Fantasy 1. It's an instant. Slash of Light deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control, plus the number of equipment you control to target creature. Great. Moth. Still flying around. Got him. Alright. Flavor text. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. Yeah, it's the Warrior of Light in his Warrior of Light armor. Cool. Another world map. Another hill gigas. Ultra's obnoxious octopus. There he is. Final Fantasy 6. Legendary creature octopus. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 8 mana was spent to cast it, put 8 +1/+1 counters on Ultros. Woo. If you've got a big spell, Ultros gets big too. Now we got another Dragoon Lance. A Colosseum Behemoth. Final Fantasy II. It's got Trample. When this creature enters, choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Draw a card. Choose one of those two. This song, it does that, like, stop. And I'm like, what? What happened? Gyat, King of the Dwarves. Gyat. Legendary creature, Dwarf Noble. Double strike. Whenever Gyat or another dwarf you control enters, and whenever an equipment you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Flavor text. We will fight along with you for the planet, our home! Final Fantasy IV. And we have A Realm Reborn! The name of, or the subtitle of the game. Final Fantasy XIV. Other permanents you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. The 7th Astral Era is come! Nice, just turn all of your creatures into little mana guys. Self-destruct! Ooh boy, and it's holographic, and that looks cool. Final Fantasy V. Target creature you control deals X damage to any other target and X damage to itself, where X is its power. Which means if you've got a creature with more toughness than its own power, it can survive that and still deal a ton of damage to something else. And the flavor text. Ha! If I'd just left you in the lurch, I'd look like a jerk for all of history! Gilgamesh. Oh, Gilgamesh. Ooh, a lovely holographic forest. Final Fantasy 11. That looks lovely. Seriously. I love it. Now we got that hero that we got, I think, in the last, or a couple packs ago, and then the other side is copy. Alright. Next. Okay. Finally getting close to the end here. Another hot demon girlfriend to freak. Another Ahriman. Another Balam T-Rexers. Dragoon's Wyvern. Gallicat. Oh, a Blitzball! We've had a couple of Blitzball related cards, and now we got the actual Blitzball. Artifact. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Goal! Tap, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards, activate only if an opponent was dealt combat damage by a legendary creature this turn. Interesting. Interesting. And then we got another Loporrit Scout. Another Loporrit Scout. Another Rufus. Ignis! Ignis Scientia! Final Fantasy 15. When Ignis Scientia enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. Excuse me. Yes, I'm still watching YouTube. Stop it. Stop it. What's wrong with, like, why? Why? What do you care, YouTube? What do you care? Leave me alone. Let me listen to my music. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I've come up with a new recipe. Pay 1, a green and a blue. Tap. Exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature card was exiled this way, create a food token. Another roof. Didn't we? Yes. So we get Rufus, Ignis, Rufus again. You're an uncommon, Rufus. Why did I get 2 in the same pack? But next we have Squall, CD Mercenary. What? Is that Seed Mercenary? You capitalized the D in... What? Final Fantasy 7, of course. Or sorry, 8, of course. The 8. Shh. 8. That's what I said the first time. Rough Divide. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then we have Esper Origins, which is a flip card. Surveil 2, you gain 2 life. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, exile it. Then put it onto the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control with a finality counter on it. And then it's got flashback of 3 and a green. Interesting. It's a sorcery. So you surveil 2 and then you gain 2 life. And then this goes into your graveyard. And then you can flashback, but it transforms into summon Esper Maduin. Its first saga, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it into your hand. Second saga, add 2 green mana. The third saga, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. This card's from Final Fantasy VI, and the flavor text, I've chosen a name for her, Terra. And then we've got a holographic Retrieve the Esper. Esper, retrieve the Esper. How about that? What are the odds of that? And then we got another Wastes land. Final Fantasy 16. Oh yeah, that is Clive and Torgal, isn't it? Cool. On their way to the hideout. Then we got the Lalafell hero with the copy back on the back. Next pack. Alright. Mysidian Elder. It's new. Final Fantasy 4. When this creature enters, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token. Flavor text. Perhaps this is a test, and you must prove yourself worthy. And then we have Shinra Reinforcements. That one's new. Final Fantasy 7, of course. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards, and you gain 3 life. Flavor text. End of the line, punk. And then summon Fat Chocobo! Look at that fat boy. Final Fantasy 7. The first of 4 sagas, Wark. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token. And then the second, third, and fourth are all Kerplunk. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. Flavor text, a pleasingly plump summon. Lovely. And then we have another Sage's Nowlitz. Another weapons vendor. Another Grand Pulse Ochu. Another Sahagin. Ooh. Wild Rose Rebellion Counterspell. Full art. Instant counter target spell. Just a lovely counterspell card. And then we have Quina Q Gourmet. Look at it. Final Fantasy IX. That poor frog. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 green frog creature token are created instead. You get an extra little frog. Pay 2, sacrifice a frog, put a +1/+1 counter on Quina. And then we got another Rufus. I think I got like, what, like 5 or 5? I think I got 5 Rufus now. Another unexpected request. Excalibur 2. From Final Fantasy IX. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on Excalibur 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Excalibur 2. Good for a life gain deck. Another Couture, but it's holographic this time. Another Charlian. Woo! We got an art card. Grahatia Scion Reborn by Domko. Look at him. The wonderful little cat boy. Awesome. Love it. Yeah. Okay. Next card pick. Let's go. We're almost through them. We're almost done. Whew. Another Light of Judgment. Another Sephiroth Intervention. Are we gonna get this Aerith rescue? I don't know. We got Gigantoad again. We got Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum again. We got You're Not Alone again. Blitzball again. Loprit Scout again. Zidane Tantalus Thief. Final Fantasy IX. When Zidane enters, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it. It gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. Whenever an opponent gains control of a permanent from you, you create a treasure token. Crazy. Then we've got Sleep Magic. That's new. Final Fantasy IX. Enchant creature. When this aura enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. When enchanted creature is dealt damage, sacrifice this aura. Huh. Yeah, no, that makes sense for sleep. But it does mean it's a little easier for them to get rid of it. They don't just have to use a card that destroys target enchantment. They can just deal 1 damage to their creature and it wakes up. Sorceress's Scheme. It's a new card. Final Fantasy VIII. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled card with flashback you own to your hand. Add 1 red mana. Flashback of 4 and a red mana. The price for your meddling is death beyond death. But return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled card with flashback you own to your hand. That's pretty powerful. Because otherwise, you flashback a card, and then it gets exiled and it's gone. But now you can use Sorceress's Schemes to be like, and I want that one back again into my hand, so that I can cast it and then flashback it. I can cast it twice more. So you can cast it twice, and then you can cast it another 2 times. And then we've got Ultimecia Time Sorceress. This seems to be the same person from that previous card. Final Fantasy VIII. legendary creature, human warlock, and it's a flip card. Whenever Ultimecia enters or attacks, surveil 2. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 4 colorless, 2, or, 4 of any, 2 blue, and 2 black, and exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, transform Ultimecia into Ultimecia Omnipotent. Oh boy. It's got Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Time Compression. When this creature transforms into Ultimecia Omnipotent, take an extra turn after this one. Just go ahead and take another turn while you're at it. Flavor text. Time. It will not wait. No matter how hard you hold on, it escapes you. And then we have another Moogle's Valor, but this one's a borderless. Fancy art. Nice. And now we have a holographic Garland Knight of Cornelia. And of course the other side is holographic as well. Chaos. Then we got another Gone Town of Ruin. Another bird token, and this one's got the wizard on the back. On to our last 4 here. Let's go. Blood Moon is rising. Item Shopkeep again. Marlborough again. Bard's Bow again. Rook Turret again. Aerith Rescue Mission again. Laughing Mad again. Another Adventurer's Airship. Ooh! The Strahl Full Art. Final Fantasy 12. Artifact Vehicle Flying. Whenever this vehicle attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Crew 1. And we have Tifa's Limit Break. Tiered. If you don't pay any extra, it's Somersault. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you pay an additional 2, it's Meteor Strikes. Double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Double. If you pay an extra 6 plus a green, Final Heaven. Triple target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh my goodness. And Grahatia! The favorite cat boy. Why does he have a bow? Interesting. You got Reach. He's a cat archer, I guess. The Allegan Eye. Whenever one or more other creatures and or artifacts you control die, create a card. Or, sorry. Draw a card. Draw a card. You don't create a card. You draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then we've got Tonberry. Look upon him and despair. You can run, but you will not outrun him. Creature Salamander Horror. This creature enters tapped with a stun counter on it. Chef's Knife. During your turn, this creature has First Strike and Death Touch. Fearful monsters that creep ever forward. Knives poised with deadly intent. Final Fantasy V. Yeah, First Strike and Death Touch, that is a very deadly combination. Now we have Furion Wild Rose Warrior from Final Fantasy II. Equipped creatures you control have haste. Whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it, except it has this equipment's equip abilities cost 2 less to activate. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next upkeep, though. Interesting. And now we got another Summon Shiva, different art? No, that's the same art, I think. Final Fantasy X. Same abilities as before, but it's holographic. And we got that force that we got before, but this one's not holographic, so. Then we got the Lalafell hero and the Black Mage Wizard token. Next pack. Ice Flan. Curl. Call the Mountain, Chocobo, Kutrub, Furrier, Gubu, Gardner, Instant Ramen again, Sahagan again, Ignis again, Torgal, a fine hound! He is a fine hound! Look at him. Final Fantasy 16, of course. Oh, and you, Clive in the shadows there. Whenever you cast your first human creature spell each turn, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each dog and or wolf you control. And you can tap Torgal to add 1 mana of any color. Flavor text.
Thank you, Torgal, for never giving up. Clive Rossfield.
And then follow that up with Ambrosia Whiteheart. Again, Final Fantasy 16. Lovely. And then we've got Lionheart again.
Ultima!
From Final Fantasy 14, yeah. I recognize that.
Destroy all artifacts and creatures. End the turn.
Just wipe the board. My turn's over. And it says, exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size. Damage wears off and this turn, and until end of turn effects end. Wait, and exile all spells and abilities from the stack. Which means, let's say somebody casts an instant, and then you're just like, oh, but this is a sorcery, so it has to be done on your turn. Still, if somebody casts an instant on your turn, you're just like, no, wipe the board, Ultima. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. And of course, the flavor text.
Such devastation! This was not my intention! Gaius Van Baelsar.
That's cool. That's a cool card. Oh yeah. And then we have Lunatic Pandora again, but this time it's holographic. And we got a holographic version of that island we got before. Camera will focus. And now art card, Dancer's Chakrams. Domko. They are chakrams. Look at that. 24 of 53. Very cool. Next pack. Down to, this is the second to last pack. Here we go. Commune with Beavers again. Ice Flan again. Summon Chocomog again. Item Shopkeep. Marlboro. Magic Pot. White Mage's Staff. Ignis. Rufus again! Rufus! I still haven't gotten a token for his Dark Star. We got Travel the Overworld. Ooh, here's some new. Minwu White Mage. Final Fantasy II. Vigilance lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. Flavor text: I shall remain here and devote myself to the care of the wounded. Cool. Vivi! Ornithir! Vivi! Now, I had received an email from some magic or a card selling website. I don't know if it's specifically it might be this one, or either that or maybe it's the holographic version of it. But it was saying that this was one of the expensive cards from like $100 card or something. We'll just handle that one with care just in case. Just set VV aside. Love you, VV. Final Fantasy 9. Oh, and I should probably read the card, shouldn't I? Pay 0. Add X mana in any combination of water, of blue and or red, where X is Vivi Ornithir's power. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi Ornithir, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now it's a 0/3 card, but once you get some counters on it, then you're getting some mana, and then you can cast more spells to get more counters to, right? That can stack up pretty well. Very good card, VV. And then we've got a holographic Ultros. And ooh, a lovely Final Fantasy IX Forest. Very nice. Looks real nice. Got a hero, the same as we've seen before, but on the back of this one is an elemental. This token is all colors. We finally, I know we got a card before that said, like, create an elemental token that's all colors. Now we've got that token. Final pack. Here we go. No token, but we do have an art card. Rook Turret. Aerith Rescue Mission. Blazing Bomb. Fight On. So far, all cards that we've gotten before. Gissel Greens. Magic Damper. Blitzball. Another Ultros. Coliseum Behemoth. Gyot King of the Dwarves. New one, Side Quest Card Collection. It's a flip card. When this enchantment enters, draw 3 cards and then discard 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, if 8 or more cards are in your graveyard, transform this enchantment. Final Fantasy XIV. Flavor text: the glory of the tourney awaits. And flip it over, and it's magicked card. Look at that. Flying Crew 1 vehicle. So just a 4/4 vehicle. Crew 1. Lovely. Another new card, Memories Returning. Final Fantasy VIII. Sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, then choose an opponent. They put one on the bottom of your library, then you put one into your hand. Then they put one on the bottom of your library, put the other into your hand. Interesting. Flashback of 7 and 2 blue. So you just pick up the top 5 cards. You pick one to keep. They pick one to put away. You pick one to keep. They pick one to put away. Very interesting. I got a holographic magic pot. That's our holographic. Okay. And then a holographic Guadsalam town land. And then our art card, our final art card, is a pretty good one. Nibelheim Aflame by Karasuba Rindo. 35 of 53. Oh, shit, hang on. That's a pretty good one to end off on. Alright, and that's all of my card packs. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I want to find, because I know I got that other. Well, here, I'll pull out all of the full arts. I guess the rares and the ultra rares. Or mythic rares, I guess. I'm going to call them. And then we'll just quickly go through all of that. There's a rare. And you know what? I'll grab the art cards too while we're at it. And especially like we got the art card and the card, you know, for VV. All right. Quickly, I should have set them aside from the get-go. Yeah, we'll grab that one. That's rare. And then I'll probably also go through these same rares and art cards on Saturday before our Final Fantasy XIV stream. And I guess while I'm going through these, I'll just go through my normal spiel of course, next stream will be, like I said, on Saturday, playing more Final Fantasy XIV. We've been working through a lot of the side quest stuff. So we'll be working through more of that. On Monday, I'm gonna continue the Trash Goblin game where you clean up magical artifacts and things, or well, actually, so far it's mostly just been like just objects that people want cleaned up, or they want an object and you've got to find it and clean it up and get it to them, and then they pay you. And then you play as a little goblin guy. And it's been pretty fun. And it is starting to get like it starts out, you're just kind of putz around doing your little job, but then it's starting to get a little deeper. Starting to hit some gold, as it were. So I am looking forward to continuing that journey for our Monday streams until that game runs out. And next week, Wednesday, we shall probably continue with the OC art redesign that we've been working on, since I didn't do it last week because we did the Trash Goblin game, and I think what was it, the week before there was something else. I might have just not streamed. I can't remember. There was something, I think. Maybe. At any rate, it's about time that we got back to that game. Man, this pack here had 3 rares back to back to back. That was lucky. That was a lucky pack for sure. I'm gonna pull. It's an uncommon, but it's a holographic that I want to pull out and set aside anyway. Getting close here. Yeah, later on in the packs, we were getting seemed fewer of the rarer cards. Still, all in all, it's been a pretty good haul. And I think that if you're this is a borderless, but it's also a rare, so I'm like, do I put it in the borderless pile or the rare pile? I guess I put it in the borderless pile. Did actually get quite a few rares. I still don't know what the GF is supposed to stand for in Ifrit. It's the Final Fantasy VIII Ifrit. split cards was flipped, so I was like, wait, where's the set icon thing? Right. So. Compiled. We only got 3 mythic rares, which I suppose makes sense. But here we go. So, of the borderless, we got the Mughals Valor. We got Garuda, and we got what was it? Fang Fearless. I see. And we only got the half of that, because, you know, it says that, you know, it fuses. We don't got the other half, which is a bit annoying. And then you've got Summon Girlfriend Ifrit, also borderless. And then for the full arts, we got the Wild Rose Rebellion, and we got the Thrall, we got Bane. We got Promise Fulfilled. We got the Baron Rivalry. Battle at the Big Bridge. Bart's Closer. The Imperial City of Arcades. Squall. Which we got the regular card of Squall as well, right? Or was it called Squall? I'm pretty sure it had the same. I don't know. Maybe not. But Newfound Adventure as well. Rare cards. We got a lot. We got Memories Returning. We got Vincent Valentine. We got Sissel. We got Brynhilde. Got A Realm Reborn. Esper. Squall. Mercenary. Okay, so we got... It is different. At least this one. Squall, Seed, Mercenary. Excalibur 2. What was it? Furion, Wild Rose Warrior. Ultima. Just gonna set that one aside so I can show my brother. Minwu, White Mage. Got Genova. Got Jidur, Capital. Zeldinkt. The Lunar Whale. Mughals Valor, but the the bordered one. So we got the bordered and the borderless. Of that minus the Fire Crystal, which looks so good. Xenos Ye Galvus. Triple Triad is apparently a rare. Matoya. The Wandering Minstrel. We're on a 14 streak of it here. Arden jumping up to 15. Noctis, like I said, 15. Seifer. You little mother truckers. Stop it. The Water Crystal. Belthier and Fran. Lindblom. Oh wait, that one's also borderless, which I should have put in the borderless section. Summon Titan. Holographic. Machinist Arsenal. Summon Leviathan. Sarah Farron. And yeah, that's the last one. Kane, Traitorous Dragoon. And then the 3 mythic rares we got. Cloud, Midgard Mercenary, Kefka, and Vivi! And then finally, for our art cards, we of course have Vivi. And we've got Golbez. And we've got what was your name again? Bahamut. Bahamut Dragon. Kefka. Cloud. Heidelin. And then Dancer. Just a dancer doing their dance. Graha. Lovely Graha. Tifa. And Sephiroth. Nibelheim Aflame. So that's all the really, really cool ones. Or at least the really rare ones. And then I've also got a couple of holographics that I set aside with the ring, and Shiva, and that forest that looks so pretty. And that's all of them. That's all of them. At least, you know, I figured I'll get a full box, and then if I want any other cards from the set after that, then I can just buy singles. You know, I don't need to grab a bunch more packs. I figured this would give me a good wide swath of cards to look at and enjoy, and then if I want any others, like I said, singles, I can pick those up. Or commander decks, because those are gonna have, you know, the face commander card, and then a bunch of other cards in there. So, that is, however, it for today. So, as I said, Saturday stream, Monday stream, Wednesday stream. But regardless, until next time, be kind to yourself, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next mission. Bye-bye.